Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to tonight's episode of The Rinse. We've got a good guest tonight. We will be talking about the data centers, and we will also be, we'll obviously be talking about other stuff too. Back from his sabbatical, here he is, Brad, the one and only. Where you at, buddy?
What
hey,
up,
bud?
Drew?
What's up? Welcome back.
Yeah, man. It's been a while.
Can't hear
Colorado. You can't hear me? Wait, can you hear me? I can hear you. I don't think Drew can hear me, though. I'm going to bring on Mikey and see if he can hear us, though. Okay.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I can hear both of you.
Okay.
Okay, Mikey, I hear you just fine. Brad, start talking again.
I'm going to be saying words out of my mouth.
I'm dipping. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Woo!
Well, here. All right, Mikey. I went to. I was telling you earlier. I went to Colorado for a music festival, and we were talking about flock cameras just before we got on, just so everybody knows. And we started talking about, kind of how they can be used for safety. And I was thinking, I had my license plate scanned in Kansas the entire time I was there for the tolls. And so they can tell, like, I'm going to get a little envelope with the bill, but they know how fast I was going through that, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How would I not, like, and I was speeding, so how am I not going to get a ticket? Or how do they not link those two? And if so, how would I be able to argue that?
That's a great point. The flock cameras add such a wild dynamic where it feels like now you can just be pulled over at any time or later on receive a bill for something, and then how do you fight that? How do you have the money to fight something like that too? I haven't really thought too much about it because I haven't seen a lot of them on the east side, which is really weird yet. But I see them. I hate flock cameras. I hate the idea that we're going to be surveilled everywhere we go. And we already have our cell phones in our pockets all the time. So I feel like the flock cameras are a step too far. And with the data centers, it just feels like 1984, if you've ever read the book.
Absolutely. And I always feel, though, that, like, I think both sides have been taking 1984 for a walk, like, too. Like, right? Like, it's being used by the right and the left. And I'm like, okay, it can't be both. But how is it happening like that?
Well, the thing that sucks in our country is it feels like the left is more like centrists. Like when you look at Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and stuff, they're not really left in the normal sense. They just kind of want to play liberal, and they want to play the bridge between whoever, corporate fascists and Republicans. So that's not very cool, in my opinion.
Damn, Mikey. All right, man. Good to have you on the show, dude.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Brad, are you over there gooning?
Well, because Mikey, like Drew really was like, we should have Mikey on to talk about data centers. And I was like, hell yeah, all right. And so, like, but I wasn't familiar with you really. And then, like, we became Facebook friends the other day, and I was just like looking through some of your stuff. But yeah, it's like Drew's got good judgment on the guest, I think. So yeah, man, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you trusting me to come on and be good and entertaining and informative too. About the data center thing too, I know a lot of people have been asking. We did hire a lawyer. We hired this guy out of Fort Wayne. I can't remember his name. It just slipped my mind. But we have filed the appeal. We have filed for the a temporary, like a stay of construction with the DC blocks Thunderbird data center project. So we haven't heard anything back about it though. And DC Blocks, the news asked me about it. I did an interview with the news, and then they asked DC Blocks about it, and they have had no comment since we filed it. So I don't know what's going to happen next.
What was the ruling that just came down about?
So
was it a moratorium of some sort?
So yeah, so they came out. They came out with a moratorium. So I went to the first hearing for the moratorium. I can't quite recall the date, but when I was in there, it seemed like a really fresh concept because they hadn't even come up with the definition for data center yet. So it was like one of those things where they obviously had to kick it down to the next vote because it wasn't a full city council vote. So Maggie Lewis kind of came up with the proposition, I believe, and then they fleshed it out over the course of the next couple of weeks, and they just voted on it. I believe it was like August 18th or something? I don't know. The dates are all mixed up in my head. They voted on it. It passed, but it doesn't grandfather in the 3 other data centers, Martindale, Brightwood, DC Blocks, and Decatur's. So there's still 3 of them that they're building. And I'm sure you've seen the recent stuff where they're talking about giving out over, I think it was like $300 million to Sabi or something. That's why
it just sounds like they're tossing money around.
Yeah. Well, which is insane because you look at because you sent me. I was looking at. You saw I think it's the IEDC thing or the IURC. I don't know. There's so many acronyms. I started a new job recently. I've had to learn a lot of new acronyms on top of all these other acronyms. The one where they don't have to pay sales tax and stuff for 50 years if the proposition is high enough.
The tax credit they call it.
Doesn't that sound that sounds like great money laundering, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the favors. Everybody's getting favors. Everybody's getting kickbacks, or not kickbacks even. Just if you save me money here, I'll save you money here.
Yeah.
The money laundering will be in construction, really, because everything will. They'll everybody's buddy. And actually, I believe the head of the IEDC is also the head of Gaylor Electric, who builds a lot of the data centers.
Yeah.
So there's conflict of interest. There's a kickback there. Everyone, it's handshakes and hand jobs.
Hey, everybody. Larry and Larry's here. Luke's here. Woody's here. Nice. All right, Jack. Well, you guys brought up Gaylor. I was watching the IndyCar race today, and they were a huge sponsor for some of it, which was very strange because the Fox afternoon of sports was the IndyCar race in DC, which had Boeing, Kalshi, and Gaylor as sponsors, and then it went into the Live Golf program, which Trump owns too, right?
No, Saudis. It's the
Saudis. Yes.
Yeah, Trump doesn't. But one of Trump's sons is really into the what is that? What do they call that market? The poly market.
I think the prediction market.
I don't think it's Kalshi, but one of them. It might be Cal.
Well, it's both.
I think
I think it is Kalshi too.
Yeah.
That's just
they were a
nuts.
sponsor of it today too, and I'm like, what? Why? Just
take it on.
Drew, damn it! You posted something about Kalshi the other day.
I did. I did.
And I'm like, stop talking about Kalshi because I want it to just go away forever.
Well, it's not. It's not going away, Brad. As a matter of fact,
fine. And it needs regulated to shit.
Yeah, that would be ideal, wouldn't it?
How are they going to regulate it?
Have somebody that is actually ethical step in and get some sort of fucking guidelines on this, because it is just the Wild West betting on the internet.
That's our whole economy now. Our whole economy is pulling a fucking lever and hoping that you fucking win.
Well,
but we live in it though too. That's the thing that I don't get is it's not like we can use our voices, right? I mean, not that they're
you're not wrong because what we like what we've seen like with in our case. You're right to a degree. Like to a degree, our voices will work, but then you're seeing other things where like AES will just like declare eminent domain on your land and come in and lay fiber wires, and there's really not much you can do. And I mean, there's other things too where like it has been easier in our case. Irvington is a community that's been easier to bind together and really have the money to hire a lawyer and stuff. But if you're in like a smaller community and people. Yeah, we can use our voice, but I fear that we're going to have to use more than our voice, if I can put it politely.
Well,
No, and that's hard. Yeah.
didn't Citizens United basically state that money is free speech?
Yep.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at as a
Corporations
society.
apparently people, so
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show too.
Yeah,
We all just need we need to do a show though where we go down to Terre Haute and just sit outside of Jim Bop's office and wait to ask him some questions. You know,
that would be
Jim
great.
Bop is
Sounds exciting.
Well, I mean, but he is like that the guy in the back kind of pulling levers and I like I had not heard of him so much within this past year. And like the more you look into him, it's just
His name's
He's
what?
a
Jim.
scumbag.
Jim Bond?
well, no, I mean, but he's good at he doesn't lose
He's gonna
arguments.
be a scumbag.
Yeah, I mean, like I think if he had, I don't know, he could be on the other side too. I would think doing the same thing for the other side. That's kind of like what my point is. I don't think he sees a side. I think he just sees like, well, of course
Well,
this is.
He
would
sees a
definitely-
side, of course. Of course, he sees a side.
I see it as working class versus rich. I don't see it as like left or right or anything. It feels like if you have any money or power, generally you have an incentive to get together with other rich people.
Well, I mean, let's just look at what's happening in Irvington and how terrible things are that Dairy Queen's gone.
It's
Oh,
the one in Washington, or the one in the Irving. No, that's Christian Park. Christian Park still has one on English.
Yeah, the old one. I think they closed the one that was over by God, I can't remember what's on. It's like Washington Street. It's like right by where they're building the new data center, the 305 Kitley Ave. I mean, to be fair, that area is really rough. Like the east side, since the 90s, it's been really rough over here. Like early 2000s, you've had a lot of places closed. The Ford plant closed. Host is closed. There's tons of. This was a working class area, and we lost a lot of jobs. It did a lot of damage. It doesn't help that the city refuses to repair anything over here. We've had the same shitty issues with our streets for. I mean, it's a joke. It's like literally a joke that's acknowledged by politicians, and it kind of floors me. And so that's why, like with the DC blocks proposition, right? And I got to make this really clear with a lot of things is we're not opposed to development over there, right? Like we don't mind there being areas developed in the Thunderbird project area because they can have the Monarch beverages over there. They bring a bunch of jobs. We need jobs on this side of town. But our biggest concern really is the fact that they're building on a brownfield. If you get on the IEDC, they actually uploaded all the most recent files for the testing of the brownfield. And I believe DC Blocks actually hired an independent soil tester to come out there. Langley, I believe is their name. And they stated that there's no evidence of Louth Group actually following this soil management plan that was put forth. So like they tested back in 2021, there's arsenic in the soil. And with the most recent testing, they actually haven't tested for heavy metals over the last 5 years. And the most recent testing says there's like well over like 5 to 10 different chemicals like chlorovinate, vinyl. I can't remember the name. I'm obviously having a hard time.
Polyvinyl chloride.
Thank you. And if you also look back further into the files, you'll see that the principal of the school that's less than 800 feet away from the proposed site, he actually called the police in 2022 because their cars were so covered in dust. He wasn't sure if it was safe enough to let the kids outside. So my biggest concern is like, if you're going to develop that area, we need somebody who's going to be transparent. We need somebody who doesn't need a government who is incapable of holding people accountable to pretend that they're being held accountable by him, if that makes sense. Like DC Blocks hasn't been transparent at all. We got a text message really early on where they were trying to fly one of our people out to visit one of their unfinished buildings to try and convince us that it was okay.
Well, with that area though, like how the IEDC. So who can they go after for the soil though? For the soil testing, like to correct it?
Well, I would say the biggest thing, Louth Group. So the two people that own the land over there, it's Louth Group, which is a realty group based in Carmel, and it's a Covington Group, which is another realty group based in Dallas. From what I've heard, is Louth Group doesn't like the bad publicity that they're getting because they were also, I mean, which is funny, but
tough shit. Yeah, like I don't.
Yeah, like fuck off, man. Like manage your soil. There's children. Like it's like they just don't care. In fact, in one of the first hearings we went to with the DC Blocks thing, they bragged about building a data center closer to a school than this current proposition is, which just like it just floors me because they think we're all fucking. They think we're hicks. They think we're idiots. They think we can't do math.
I think it's every organization like this just banks on everybody like giving up or getting tired of fighting and fighting and fighting, and then and because when you're fighting by yourself, you're like, where is everybody else? I wouldn't. It's hard to keep going when you're a loner voice kind of thing. So. Yeah,
it's lonely. Well, it's a lonely place to be if you're the only voice. But in this case, there's been a lot of other people, like the whole group, the East Side Community Action thing. So when that started, I had just like started a petition, and I went to the first protest at one of the initial hearings, and I met a few people, and then we got together and met. There was like 4 of us and a C8, Citizens Action Coalition member there, and 2 of those members are still around, but they have a newborn baby, so they haven't had like any time to commit. So me, another girl in the Citizens Action Coalition, and then like a group of new people started meeting. I just kind of made the logo up, the name up, like on the fly, and we had some like a graphic designer who's a part of our group design it and stuff. But I didn't do any of the. I did none of. Here, I'm gonna have to get out of my car and start walking in my car. I didn't do any of like looking for the lawyer or anything. That's like a whole another group of people because I don't have any time lately because I started a new job. I have my son. Good stuff like that. At that age, you really don't. I mean, I know. Brad knows too. Brad knows too.
Congrats, dude. Yeah, like being a dad is just fun. So it's.
I would prefer to be at home all the time. It is a lot. It is a lot, and a lot of people don't understand how difficult it can be. I didn't understand.
I will. I'll let you know when I get home.
Love you. I don't know why I'm handing you my drink. Sorry, you guys.
No, we love you too, man. That's fine.
Can I address something in the chat, please?
Oh yeah.
Luke.
Can I use your card?
Mr. Based Luke Lomax. I am not. At this time, I am not joining the Lincoln Party.
What about
Lincoln Party?
What about the?
Is that the new party? What is that?
Well, no, yeah, you're funny.
Lincoln Party.
So, I mean, you're on the record here saying that you're not joining the Lincoln Party.
As of right now, I'm not joining the Lincoln Party.
You are still a Republican, Drew. That was a good answer.
No, I mean, technically, I'm on the ballot for state rep as a libertarian, although my membership to the Libertarian Party expired yesterday, and I'm not renewing it. So, and by the way, the deadline for making any changes on the ballot was Friday. So I'm on the ballot as a libertarian.
You're locked in, man.
And I am locked. I'm so locked in.
Nice. Well, here, let me ask. When we get back to data centers, the pro data center people versus no data center people, which side are the parties on? And Drew, you can. you could answer for the Lincoln Party and the Libertarian Party.
I'm not a member of the Lincoln Party. I am not a member of any party right now. I mean, look, the data centers, they've been far from transparent about their intentions, and they've rolled it out very, very horribly. If they would have been upfront and honest the whole time, we would be in a lot better place with the data centers. Now, I mean, incidentally, isn't it kind of neat? We've got all this water coming from the sky now, and since everyone was complaining about the amount of water the data centers are alleged to use.
True. I don't know if that's the right answer for, like, hey, God provided all this water from data centers.
No, I'm not saying God did. They know how to seed clouds.
I mean, rain. I'm just like, I'm saying if you said to a religious person, hey, we needed rain and there came a lot of rain, they would say, yeah, God provided. I'm sorry.
So did the chemtrails.
Let's move on to that. Yeah.
So did the chemtrails.
Well, if God didn't invent chemtrails, who did? So,
Israel invented chemtrails.
Okay.
How about that?
Well, no.
Can we blame them? Can we blame them for the data centers too?
Well, wait, no, because I do want to get to the storms, but I want to answer this one first, though. Like,
okay,
Mikey, do you think that it's like each party has a side, or are like the Democrats also pro data center?
I think the ones that are smarter and aren't bought off will make a decision as like the political climate becomes clear. But I also have a hard time in having faith. I think if you're pro data center, you're going to get voted out. I think there's been a lot of evidence of that so far. Is a lot of the council members and a lot of the city members that have been pro data center and rammed it down their community's throats almost always end up losing their next election. So I feel like if you want a viable political life, you'll be anti-data center. And what it feels like so far is, hold on, sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're fine. Well, wait. So, Drew, then, like, do you think Republicans are pro data centers? Like, I know that
I think that
Luke
a lot of
he said it's more nuanced.
Okay. So,
but Democrats are coming right out and saying it. Democrats are coming out and just saying no data centers.
No, some of them are for them. Look at what's his face that got his house shot up allegedly. What's his face? Hell, I don't even remember his name.
Wait, is it the Indiana rep that was?
No, not a rep. He's a city county council member.
Oh, then I don't know. Okay.
Ron something. Mikey, you could probably help me out on this.
Sorry, my son is in the back seat screaming. I have like a 5-minute drive. What was the question?
Who was the city county councilor whose house got shot up? Ron something?
Ron Gibson, I believe, the guy who looks like a thumb. Yeah. His house got shot up and he didn't learn his lesson, even though, I don't want to say it like that, but his house got shot up and I believe he was still in favor of it, which was wild to me because his son was in the house. So
you don't.
Well, you can't bow down to terrorists. That's what I've always heard.
You don't think there's any way,
right? Yeah.
You think there's any way that call came from inside the house, his house getting shot up? Because they had that neat little note too that was in the Ziploc baggie.
Yeah, that's a very high possibility.
It's pretty sus because we haven't heard anything else about it. I mean, it's
no arrest, no investigation.
We'll never hear another thing about it. Never, ever.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke.
I'm gonna go grab another beer and laugh at Luke's dumbass, back to smartass comment here. of what Democrats are doing.
Oh, let's see. Can I see the
What are the Democrats doing? He just took off.
Yes.
There he goes.
No, we're using data centers for Act Blue and in our texting scheme because Democrats have a texting scheme, apparently.
Democrats have a lot of schemes, Brad.
So do Republicans. So do politicians, Drew. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you're a politician, that's what you do is you scheme.
Well,
Yeah, they're just all schemers.
That's my problem, I guess. That's my problem, I guess. I mean, I only want to. I mean, if I win, I would like to win my state rep race. It's going against Mitch Gore, so I don't think I have a huge chance to win. But if I do,
convince people that he's related to Al Gore, and you would get Republicans to vote against him just based off of his name. Like you can convince enough stupid people.
Republicans are voting against him. Period. I'll get a lot of Republican votes, but I mean it's too. Because there's no Republican in my race.
Oh,
where are you running?
State rep for District 89.
Hell yeah! Who are you running against? Just a Democrat?
Yeah, Mitch Gore.
Oh, Mitch Gore. Okay, I know that guy.
Yeah. And
I believe one of my friends worked for his. I think his dad owns bars, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
that was to my raspberry was to Larry's note.
I wanted to
just to win.
No, Larry. If you want to talk about the state Libertarian Party, the state Libertarian Party's scheme is to steal money from the Marion County Libertarian Party, so they could spend
all
it.
The same pot, though.
Not really. Not really. Each individual county has their own bank accounts, and the Lorry for Liberty people came in and took $4,000 from the Marion County Libertarian Party, who I'm no longer a member of, so doesn't bother me. But that's what they came in and did. They took $4,000 and they're going to use it for Lori Schilling's for advertising or whatever they do.
Well, good. So, she's going to have a fighting chance as Secretary of State, right?
Yeah. $4,000 is going to make a big difference. She might go from 2.1 to 2.4.
Well, listen, isn't it all about the message, Drew? It's all about the message, right?
I'm sorry. They didn't steal it. They didn't steal it. Sorry, Luke. It wasn't stolen. It was given.
I'm sorry. I love, all this.
No, you might be. I mean, there's a few things that will probably get me excited and maybe get my voice to get a little bit higher pitched, and I might lose my shit. But it's all good. It's all good. Sorry, Luke. They didn't steal the money. Okay.
Well, and Mikey, just in case you didn't know, like a couple episodes ago, we had Cassie Jackson on, and Drew became like the Incredible Hulk. I never seen him so enraged.
I get it.
So just now, I really wanted to be like, guess who we're bringing out, Drew? Yeah.
You do that to me every couple of shows, Brad.
I can't help it. It's just so fun. Okay, let's talk about the storms because I do think that they are kind of like in line with the data centers, with the power companies, with the IURC.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, that's a shit ton of water.
This is Connersville.
Jesus Christ.
I used to teach, like my first year out of college, I taught at Connersville High School in Fayette County. This is just horrific. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how a community that recovering from that takes years, and very often I feel like communities don't recover from that kind of thing.
Well, no, there's so much to kind of wonder about with, one of the first things I kind of want to ask, like how were we as a state kind of so unprepared for the storm damage? Not so much the storm damage, because I get that it's, damage is going to happen, but like our response has been less than quick.
Terrible.
What are they supposed to do? Look at all that water. There's that. I don't.
Yeah, to a degree, it's like one of those things where I feel like, sure, like our response has been quite delayed. I feel like because one of the stories that I've been seeing was floating around was Joe Hogsett and company kind of knew like a day or two before that there was a really, really high risk of flooding. They didn't really take any chances of warning anybody. And you're right. What do you do with all that water? Chances are, even if they had been on top of it and warned everybody, the flood would have happened anyway. But I feel like it just shows a systemic issue where things like that are need to be prioritized above everything else. Especially when they know that they only have $5 million in our emergency fund right now.
Which, how the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's different from their surplus. That's different from their surplus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
it's part of the budget. What they budgeted for this fiscal year or whatever was just like $5 million, I believe, for natural disasters.
That's it.
Well, but still, so like, the reserves, the surplus is still there, and the reserves.
Yeah, the surplus is there. But you know how they are about that.
Like our reserves,
it's like more.
They think it's
our
their
reserves
money.
are ridiculous.
They
do think it's their money.
Yeah,
because this is not. I'll take the bag too. This isn't the first year they bragged about having a huge surplus, and we will see probably nothing from it. Isn't this like a broken record? Haven't you guys heard the last couple of years? Every time we get to this point of year, the Republicans come out and Braun comes out and they're like, "We got $4 billion to spend now," and then inevitably nothing ever changes, and he gets a new helicopter pad or some shit.
No, and that's that's totally it. Wait, Drew, what did you just say too? They're sitting on it like it's theirs. Like,
yeah. One thing that really, really irritates me is when the government calls our tax money revenue, because revenue implies that they did something for it. Revenue is what I make for my hard work every fucking week. But for them to call the money that they steal from us revenue is like a bank robber calling what they stole from the bank revenue. Yeah. And I mean it's absolutely disgusting. I mean it pisses me off when Braun talks about revenue, and it's like what does the government actually produce? Nothing. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it
was a month ago. It was nothing. This article was from July 15th, and that's the one.
Yeah.
Indiana fiscal year with significant surplus and a $4 billion in reserves.
Yeah. Well, the cherry on top too is, I will say, is like if you look at the most recent damage with I think it was like some over 40 tornadoes, they spent like well over $30 million just repairing just tornado damage. And then you look even further back, like you look at our request to FEMA where Mike Braun literally asked for $5 million only. Well, it's probably because he voted to defund them. So.
No, and Larry brings up a good point too. Meanwhile, several counties are implementing wheel taxes.
Wheel taxes, yeah. And the wheel tax, people have been hating on the wheel tax. That's been a complicated subject, I will say.
Yeah,
because
how do you feel about it?
My biggest thing is at the most recent budget hearing when they did the wheel tax vote and the council overturned it, and Joe Hogsett got up there and talked about pulling $50 million out of our budget, not needing the wheel tax. You know, that $50 million he's referring to is money that data centers have promised us, basically. You know what this feels like? It feels like Enron. It's like we're being promised a bunch of money, right? Money that hasn't actually been made from a non-tangible product. And then our government is turning around and promising it back to us after they're taking our actual money that we have to pay them. Like, what the fuck is going on?
No, and that's, I mean, I think everything would have been kind of at least better if the response was like dealt with as if it were an actual emergency. I feel like everybody's just sitting on their ass and like Jefferson Shreve. God damn it! I like. Let me see if I have that in. He signed the letter. Yeah, he's like, I joined Indiana's congressional delegation in urging President Trump to approve Governor Braun's August 20th request for a major disaster declaration. It's like he joined the letter, and they sent the letter to Washington.
5 million or however much.
Do you guys like not have?
Why don't they get the money from AIPAC? They've got all sorts of money laying around.
Oh yeah,
right. What
or
about,
why don't we stop? What about that $15 million Braun promised them?
Yeah, no, I mean it's absolutely horrible. I mean, whenever I see like what's his face, that little twerp from Ukraine coming over here, wearing his little whenever I see that little twerp or that toad-looking dude over from the anyway. It's like we bend over backwards. We give them billions and billions. And then I'm watching TV late at night, and St. Jude's Children's Hospital is begging for money by people donating $24 a month. Why don't we flip-flop that? And people who want to give Israel money, let them give Israel $24.95 a month, and they can get a yarmulke and a blanket.
Well, but I don't think Russia should be able to just go run rickshaw over Eastern Europe, though. Like I like Zelensky.
Do you think Israel should be able to go run roughshod on its neighbors?
Those are two different questions there, Drew.
They are.
See, that perfectly underscores the hypocrisy in our. It underscores how much America just will play either side for whatever benefit. I don't even know. I feel like we're run by Israel at this point, to be honest. When you look at like the Nazi election,
like we should withdraw from that as well. Like I don't think we should be following Israel.
Yeah, why the fuck are we in Iran?
They tricked. I don't know that they tricked us into Iran, but like it was with them.
You know what?
On board.
They blackmailed us.
Looking at this from this. Yep, they've definitely blackmailed us. And I think about this from like a strategical point of view, right? Who would you rather have it as an ally, right? If you get Ukraine to join NATO, which even if you don't like NATO, we are obligated in those alliances and those contracts we've signed and stuff because, NATO is complicated. I would rather have Ukraine on my side because Ukraine has some of the most resources in the world, and it sits at one of the most pivotal, like strategical corridors in the entire world versus Israel, who's halfway across the world. We've been subsidizing forever. And we can't keep a hold of them. They just do whatever the fuck they want.
But that's our greatest ally, right?
Yeah. Telling the CIA that Trump is going to get hit with the missiles so they can watch him stuff himself in a fucking cart. That's like the most embarrassing thing. Like when growing up, I'm not like a hardcore. Some people would say I'm pretty left. I would consider myself pretty methodical. So I'm not like, I wouldn't put myself on the left. But growing up, methodical or practical, where like I understand there's a difference in praxis and practice, right? Like identity politics are not popular. No, identity politics don't fucking get you anywhere. Like I understand to a degree there are some important aspects to be discussed, like gay marriage and stuff. That's really important, but need to kind of stop there for now because the Democrats have this sense that everybody talks about when they talk about the Democrats, they talk about transgender stuff or identity politics, and it's just not. It doesn't pull very well with most.
That's not just the Democrat Party. That's not just the Democrat Party.
Yeah. It is the Republicans too. The Republicans are obsessed with it too.
Well, the Republicans bring it up to like say that the Democrats are the ones talking about it. And that's like what the Democrats' policies are. And then enough people will just believe that without actually hearing from a Democrat. And then once the Democrat becomes in front of them, they're like,
they have a nuanced conversation about
it. It's like, no, just why do you guys even think that?
You know, they're coming up with stories where they're saying like trans people are like pretending to be cats in schools, which is absolutely absurd. For one, first and foremost, everybody deserves rights. Everybody, like, if you want to identify as something, I don't give a shit what you fucking identify as. Like,
Does
I
that
don't
mean I
understand why
have to
Republicans are so
participate?
obsessed.
Does that mean
No.
other people have to
No.
participate?
Nope. That's another thing that's important to remember too. We have the we. I feel like it's a really just topic, right? We're like, out of respect, if somebody asked me to call them something different, I should listen to them, right? I can understand where people get offended when they ask like their teacher or something like, "Hey, I'm trans." They don't even have to talk about their medical history, honestly. If you just ask somebody to call you something different, even if I asked you to call me shitbag wind fart, you should respect what I ask you to call me.
Sorry,
but there's so many layers to that where it's like, I don't understand it. Our country is obsessed with the weirdest things. I will say that.
Yes. And why though? Like it's all it's
Honestly,
there to do
deep
is
down,
divide us.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's conquer and divide because deep down, let's be honest with ourselves. Like deep down, there is a very, in my opinion, almost a closeted feeling about our culture, right? Where like there's this deep need to prove masculinity all the time. It almost circles back around on itself. And it's like, dude, I know I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I don't need to be a macho asshole all the time to prove to people that I like women, you know? So like when I reference that, I talk about like, if you've played sports and you're in locker rooms with other guys do some gay shit. They'll walk up to you and do some shit that'll make you really uncomfortable, but it's horseplay. I think American culture is pretty gay, honestly.
Like, I mean, are you talking about locker room culture? I mean, what specifically are you talking about that's kind of gay? The little towel smacking?
Well, locker room culture.
Well, dude,
it's all, I understand it. It's like, what were you going to say?
Well, there's like stories of football hazing where it's like they'll jam like kids got sued at a high school because they were jamming like a broomstick up another kid's ass as like
that's like the gayest shit I've ever heard.
And it's like, why would that ever cross a mind? I guess part of like and then you look to bring us together, so that'll help.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. Let's never share it. Oh yeah, there's something that might go on in the locker room. Little bit of a cup check.
Cup check. Yeah, cup check. There's all kinds of. I mean, even in kitchens, like I've gone in kitchens and male cooks like want to slap your ass and stuff, and it's like,
oh man, well, it's
funny because of
the amount of good games you would give. I would play baseball, and the amount of good games you would give to like your friends, just a smack on the ass, like, yeah, good game, and it would, yeah, it was totally acceptable in baseball pants.
Well, no, it's still acceptable, and I think part of the reason that it's acceptable is because everybody knows, like, that's part of the joke, right? Like, I'm slapping your ass, and obviously I'm not gay. My wife is right here, and I have a son, but you know, like, viewed through a different lens, that's kind of gay. But to most of us, it's pretty fucking funny most of the time, to be honest.
No, and Ducky in the chat, yeah, I don't know if you were talking about the ball tapping or the broomstick, but
neither one sounds appealing.
That could leave an impact for a lifetime. You don't know.
Yeah,
you know, people have different.
People have different. It's 2026, you know.
Well,
yeah, you got
to say good game. No. Like I would say that you do have to say good game. Okay, that's hilarious. Let me ask you guys this about the Braun settling with Andy Zay for $625,000. And originally, like, I think I first saw it reported from Indie Reporter, but like I didn't see the figure. And it was funny because somebody in the chat on that commented like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean money. And everybody kind of had to chuckle because it was like, well, what else would it mean?
What else would that mean?
And then when the figure came out, were you guys like, I guess,
Have you
surprised?
seen that guy? It could have been like lifetime pass to a buffet.
Well, it's funny because watching it cook too, it's like one of those things where it's like Mike Braun clearly played he thought he had a trump card. He was like, oh, I got photos of him buying scarves, and we'll say he used campaign money with it. I really want to know that what Andy Zay has on Mike Braun that forced Mike Braun to go into arbitration like less than 2 or 3 days later.
Thank you. Also, another thing to keep in mind is something that really screwed Mike Braun over was going on Hammer and Nigel and talking about the reasons he was fired because they allegedly contradicted what was given in his letter to Zay. He went on he went on Hammer and Nigel to talk about it.
This is what I mean too. Like this
joke. Did I? Oh yeah. Okay.
I think the buffet one kind of
the buffet comment. That was probably it.
Like
Jose.
So
okay.
So you're telling me we have only $2 million left for people who have probably lost everything. Like I couldn't imagine, you work 30 years, you work your whole life to buy this house that's value has probably exceeded what it actually is. You say you have a small business, you put your whole life into this, and now you've lost it all. And our government tells you, oh, we have $5,000 for you. But this guy we fired incorrectly, we're going to give him $625,000 because we don't know what
optics.
Like
no, and the fact that it's happening right now, like
yep,
Drew, you nailed it. It is horrible optics, but it's like I like when these things happen in line. I freaking hate when people forget all the bullshit that happened in April and May by the time November rolls around. This is one of those things that like when you see the hypocrisy happen at the same time when like an emergency is happening and you're like, okay, well, are these the priorities?
Yeah. Well, and then you combine that, you stack all of those things together too. Like what? I think they bought the IURC. They spent like $200,000 on a suite for them at one of the races.
Oh yeah, that was another thing too. Because I was going to ask you guys the IndyCar race. So the IndyCar race was in DC today, and I couldn't find out online. Like I know that it said in stories from a few days ago that Braun was going to attend the IndyCar race and stay in their hospitality suite or whatever. But I kept looking online and I couldn't find out whether or not Braun actually went. Because I feel like that would be, again, Drew, horrible optics. Your state is in the middle of an emergency and you're going to a race in DC.
Well, that was like what was it? The mayor of LA, Karen Bass. She went on some safari in Africa when LA was burning. I mean, politicians have a history. Both parties have a history of
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, baby.
Yeah, Ted Cruz going up. Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Cruz went to Cuba or something like that. Somewhere. Who knows where Joe Hogsett went during the riots of 2020?
To a fucking bar, probably.
No, I actually allegedly it was a rehab facility in Richmond, Indiana. Allegedly.
Ooh.
So.
Okay.
I remember those days.
Mikey, like he let out a few laughs when he was in the car. Dude, like kid laughs at that age are like the funniest damn noise ever. Just like that chuckle of happiness.
It's freaking hot up here.
It is. Yeah, when he laughs, I love when he laughs. But he's been screaming lately. We were in the car ride back, and he was screaming. I was like, "Oh Jesus, I better mute myself."
No, well,
me too, Larry.
Well, Larry, Yeah, Mounds Mall, like that whole area is like underwater. Again, like the mall has been closed for years, but like it was still a shock to kind of see. And I think it was just like a perfect storm of how many areas were hit in the state. Because like when you look at it, I always try to tell people like to remember how big Indiana is. Like from Connorsville to Griffith or to Gary, like in Northwest Indiana, that has to be like 5 hours, like 5.5 hours of a drive. You know, Indiana's not a small state. Like we have a lot of different areas, and so for all of them to get hit up at once, I do understand like the.
We saw how like it was cresting. Anything that was next to the White River pretty much got flooded because it was cresting at like 25 feet, and that goes deeper too. Like that goes into like the whole climate thing, right? Where so let's just do. We've already been told 10 years ago, climate scientists were predicting all this stuff. This has been 20, 30 years ago. They were predicting all this stuff would happen, and now. Like Loudoun County, for instance, right in Virginia. If you've heard about it, Data Center Alley. There's more data centers there than all of Russia, right? And Russia is fucking huge. And on average, a lot of these data centers, especially like the hyperscale ones, increase the surrounding area's temperature by like 8 to 9 degrees, right? So I thought we were pivoting towards cleaner carbon emissions and stuff, right? And then shit like this happens. And everybody acts fucking surprised.
Well, but that's God, like, I don't know that you could. I would still say it would take like another 20 years of storms like this to actually convince people, to convince the naysayers of climate change that like anything's happening. Despite the fact that they believe that they can also like seed clouds with a bunch of rain somehow. Like I don't.
Well, I will say, I had a really hard time believing a lot of like the cloud seeding stuff. Right, initially, I was super skeptical. I'm still skeptical, but I will say that in Delhi, India, it got so hot they took drones up into the sky and they were able to shoot lasers into the clouds that allowed them to make it rain. I'm not saying we're doing that here, and I know that's a crazy like proposition to even dive into, but they have been using stuff like that in places like India. And it terrifies the shit out of me.
Because I always end up in the conversations with Lucy about this one because I always think of it as like people who want to seed clouds to make floods happen. I'm like, who are these freaking like evil like they're like evil villains in a comic book, and I'm like, where are the smart people in the comics? Where are those like smart people, geniuses that want to do good? To like,
well, I think
why don't we make it rain during droughts? Why don't we make it rain during? You know, there's.
It's all about control. Because ultimately, part of the issue is, I'm sure that is going on to a degree, right? Where like it does, and that is a good question. That's a great question. Why is it not raining at all on the West Coast? I think part of the thing lies in, I don't think things are as organized as we think they are, as we hope they are, as we wish they are.
They're not. Yeah.
And it doesn't help that much of it feels like the Christian nationalism is the root of a lot of it, like this idea that you have to suffer to enter into the gateway of heaven. That's a really dangerous idea because it extends subconsciously into being like, oh well, that's where like the Puritan work ethic comes from. It's okay to suffer because it's what our religious figure did. And the idea that the world is going to end and God is going to come down and pick up his chosen people and take them up to the sky. That idea is really pervasive in a lot of these churches where our politicians go to. And it's the same politicians, right, who believe in this death cult ideal that are being paid by the Zionists in Israel. And we all know that they have plans where when the whole world turns, I think it's called like the Samson doctrine. When if they become militarily invaded, they have
it's the Samson option.
Yep.
Well, there's another one. There's another one that you should look into. It's called the Levon. It's the Levon strategy, and that's where those people you were just talking about will plan a terrorist attack and then blame it on usually the Muslims. They'll blame the Levant Project or something like that. Where and I think that's going on right now. I think that's going on right now. With everybody that is. I mean, everybody is so anti-Muslim right now, and that's propaganda that's being pushed on us. That's being pushed on us.
By whom?
By whom?
But we'll look further back.
The Zionists. No. Be more specific. Let's look further back. There are Americans pushing this too.
Yeah, they're being paid by the Zionists.
Well, I don't think they're being paid. I think some of them are just falling in.
I think Americans are capitalists, and capitalists are equal opportunists a lot of the time. So when they see money, they don't really consider morals or ethics. I'm not saying that's like a good thing or anything, but it's like we look back at 9/11, right? It's the same. Where they're using the same playbook here, where 9/11 started by a terrorist attack. However, on our soil this time, there's some evidence out there that Israel lied to us about Iraq having weapons of mass destruction. And here we are again, 25 years later, same thing, terrorist attack, although this time in Israel. And now we're back attacking Iran for WMDs, even though it was the Hezbollah that everybody knows that Netanyahu is giving millions of dollars to every month. So it's kind of like the false flag stuff has been going on forever. I mean, you look back at, Germany in 1939, when they invaded Poland, the first thing they did was they dressed German soldiers in Polish uniforms and they attacked their own radio station. Or the Gulf of Tonkin incident, where we don't even know, there's no actual evidence one of our ships was attacked, but we engaged in an entire war under this casus belli.
Well, and that's it. It's like once we're in, it doesn't matter what the reason was anymore. Like with Vietnam, it's like even if everything came to light right then, I feel like the military always thinks that we're too invested and we're too entrenched that, we have to stay there now till the end. So, but in this case, what the hell?
That's the scary thing about, in my opinion. Well, we've hit post. So I think around like post-nationalism, right? I think it's been around for a long time. And I think this idea that the U.S. government is all powerful is just something that's pitched in our classrooms. Because you look at like the robber barons, right? I can't remember. Was it Rockefeller?
Tariffs are awesome.
Rockefeller had like Rockefeller had so much money. He had more money than the U.S. government did fucking 200 years ago. Since the military industrial, before World War I, we didn't have a military. We only had a navy. We had a really, really tiny military. We get into World War I, and the military industrial complex becomes so powerful. It becomes like this. That's the issue with capitalism, right? When you come up with a war industry and it's based on profit, and that profit, the idea of profit is based on infinite growth. Well, if it's a war industry, they have infinite incentive to continue producing war. So that's why we keep finding ourselves in these fights, because people make a lot of fucking money.
Oh, it's totally the money. But
it comes
how are we not like wise to it yet? I guess
I think the thing is,
farewell address nailed it, and that was in the 50s, or that was 1960, right? Like, how the hell are we still at this point where we're like, we're a military country, but
because we're essentially enslaved. Well, okay, so if I've read a lot of books about Hitler too, right? Hitler took a lot of his inspiration from our country. Our country has been so when we committed genocide against Native Americans, when we took this country to begin with, it was under the premise of manifest destiny. The white man has been gifted by God all of the land west of Appalachian Mountains. So we've been running like this fascist regime for a long time. If you look at labor disputes in the 1800s, early 1900s, there are many instances of the laborers, stuck in what is almost like a 15-minute city, what you would call today. These Rockefeller would have the place like the manufacturing center, and he would basically own the town where all the laborers would live. And anytime there was a labor dispute, like if they went on strike, they would call Pinkertons, they would call National Guard. And there'd be times when they'd say, oh, we'll negotiate with you. And the workers would come in to negotiate, and then they'd send the National Guard out in Pinkertons, and they'd go murder all their women and children. So it's like,
yeah, Labor
it's like
Day
one of those things
where
where
celebrated, by the way, just as a heads up.
Yeah.
Everyone listening, like,
damn right, September 8th, right?
Yeah, the workers like in this country, I think, are woefully, I don't know, just unaware, ignorant of what came before them to even give minimum wages or any kind of workers' rights. Sorry, Drew, go ahead.
I sent you a link earlier
Oh,
talking about how Braun and Mikey. Actually, this was originally what I was wanting to have you on about, was the school choice vouchers. And this week,
and
my this week, and then once I saw your involvement with the data centers, I felt like that might be a good one too. But considering what happened this week, Brad, I sent the link to you earlier about Braun signing into law or signing something that removed the income restrictions so that everybody is eligible for the school choice voucher now. I know what side I am on it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
There should totally be a friggin' like you can't just give it to anybody. Like you have to be making under a certain amount of money. I think.
I would agree with that, but I've like looked at a lot of the numbers, and there's what I've read is like on average, like okay. So for public schooling, hold on, sorry, I gotta close my door.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
I'll probably have to answer this and go. I gotta help get my boy to sleep. I don't want to leave her alone doing that. So with the school vouchers, what I've seen with the school vouchers is on average. So let me restart. So when people get assigned a school voucher, it pulls from the entire education fund, right? Where it's all one big pie, and usually it's divided into districts. But when people get school vouchers, it pulls from the entire fund. And on average, the average taxpayer pays $12, median $12 per household to send kids to public schools. With school vouchers, it costs people on average about $7,000 per school voucher, which is, I don't know how high of a percent difference in price that is, but that's pretty significant in my mind. And I have a major issue. I don't believe in private. Go ahead.
I'm wondering where you're getting that number from, because yeah, Brad dipped out, but he can still hear us. The whole $12, because our local property taxes. Let me preface this. Both of my children use the school choice voucher program, and the amount of money that the state budgets per child does not equal the amount of money that the school choice voucher will give you for that child. For instance, the state was giving the school, the IPS was the school that my children were in. The state was giving them approximately $12,000 a student. But then when my kids went with the school choice vouchers, those were only about $7,500 a piece. So the school is actually, not all of the money that's given to the school for the child is going with the child. Some of it staying with the school system.
Okay. Well,
Is he gone?
No, I mean I think he's froze. I just with the charter thing, I'm just very pro public.
I know you are.
And I think that has a lot to do with the communities around it. It's not I know that, yeah, totally some kids need to learn different ways, and every child should be kind of like open to that. I don't know that, lower income families like even are aware that this is a possibility, or that, But and again, I don't know how much is up to the parent to seek this out for their child too. So, again, yeah, it is parent choice. But I would still
lost
choose
your audio.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I'm dipping right back out, and I'll come right back in.
Okay. I think I lost everybody now, but it's been a while, everybody, since we got to chat. So I got my new poster from Field Division 2. It was quite the time. Let's just do this now. Yeah, Field Division 2 last weekend had a drag night. Sunday was drag night. There was I think there was the drag performer from like Utah, and there's one called Patagonia, and the band King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. They thank you, Luke, for that. I'm still here, Brad. The 1.776 billion. Yeah, right. And then we got Larry. Yeah, I am running everybody off. There we go. All right, let's get Drew back in here. Drew,
okay, sorry about that. Yes. Can you hear me all right? Can the chat hear me all right? Yeah, Brad's always running people off. No, when somebody disagrees with Brad, I just want to say this right now. When somebody disagrees with Brad, if any of y'all have ever heard the term sabotage by the Beastie Boys, he's talking about a sound engineer that keeps on fucking with his shit. Whenever somebody disagrees with that guy, Brad somehow...
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to the audio there, you guys. That was just...
I'm just kidding. Sorry about that.
No, I muted you the whole time.
Don't roll your eyes at me, Brad.
That was, oh man, that's perfect. No,
school vouchers. Go ahead.
School vouchers. Okay.
You don't think that what now? You were I know you're a big proponent of the public schools and everything, but
yeah, I think charter schools don't have enough accountability. Just off the top of my head, I guess. Like I would have to
accountability to who?
The state standards, things like that.
Well, shouldn't it matter what the parent standards are versus the state standard?
Well, but they still need schools to,
because public schools
within a certain.
Oh,
like they need a curriculum. They need like certain parameters for it.
They do. So
yeah,
you're saying that all children learn the same?
No, but there should be there. That's why like the ideal or the Indiana Department of Education has state standards for teachers and stuff. It's like you have to have that ability to go through and instruct from you. And that's why I always get very worried about homeschool teachers, is because I don't know that they have that. Like I trust the parents to do what's best for their child, but I don't know that they're following the whatever the.
Okay, can I give you an example? A guest that we had a couple weeks ago, Jay Hart.
Yeah.
The young lady that came on with us for just a few moments. I think she's 13. I think she's 13, and she was homeschooled, and then she went to Christian school for a couple years. Now she's 13 and she's a freshman.
No,
and but the thing
I guess is that freshmen there also goes in like the social aspect of that. She's going to be around a lot of like 15 and 16-year-olds, right?
Isn't that her parents' decision?
It is. I'm just saying that
it shouldn't go any further than that then.
So you're one where you're like, I want my child to be like pushed forward, and if I want that, then I should have that because I'm the parent.
If I'm sorry, you broke up. What was that you said?
Well, it can't just be all the parents, request of it. There has to be some like, because I know about like the kids who are like, oh, I'm a genius and I'm 12 years old and I'm in college or whatever. The Doogie Housers. you know, but that isn't the norm for a lot of Indiana, I would say.
Yes, but who do you think knows better about their children's education? Their parents or the state?
That's a funny one because, like, to a certain point, I would say, as a parent too, like, I would want to consult professionals. I don't want to just.
It's your decision whether or not to consult professionals on how to deal with your child. Personally, I would rather.
No, I totally get that too, and that is horrible. Though, like, you're just. I don't know, that leaves a lot of, like, leeway for just, well, this is going to be how I say I want it because this is the way that I think it would be, even though a lot of things, like, might say differently. I don't know.
But who would say
it's
differently?
their choice. It's their choice.
Is it anybody's choice to tell somebody how to raise their children other than the parents? Is there anybody that should have a say-so?
No.
Okay. So what you're saying is that some parents might not know better and they would send their child to a subpar charter school. So you're saying that you're saying that the government needs to step in and protect those people from sending their children to the unapproved charter school?
No. I'm saying that some children may fall through the cracks because their parents think they know best. However, they are not educated enough to know best. Like, that's part of
it. Whose job is it to determine whether or not they are educated enough to make the right decision for their children? Ultimately, who does that fall upon?
The parent. Like, there are no laws on being a parent. Anybody can be a parent.
Okay. So you're telling me that
I'm saying parents make shitty decisions too. Like, it's not.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to get at, I think.
But it's not the government's job to come in and protect people from these shitty parents' decisions. I mean, to an extent, child welfare is one thing, abuse is one thing, but what I'm talking about are basic parental decisions, where to send your kid to school. That should lie solely on the parent and not have the government shouldn't determine.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I would want the government involved a lot. Yeah.
So I mean,
but charter school, like, the whole vouchers for charter schools is like you're opening it up to make it easier by the government to send your kids to charter schools.
Well, no, actually, the money that was provided for your child can be used to pay for your child's education. It's already case law. It's been decided that the money follows the child, and it's the parent's decision on where the money should be spent. Because education is not a one size fits all. I mean,
no, it isn't.
My son went to both of my kids used the voucher program. My daughter graduated from Cecina, and my son went to C9 classes down in Center Grove, like body repair stuff.
Like trade stuff.
Trade classes. Yeah. Yes. So I mean, a lot of these vouchers can be used for trade schools too. So
no, and that's I do the, like, Alexandria schools, public schools. They have a great relationship with, like, an adult trade school in Elwood, where they get, like, you can basically start your junior year into welding, into, like, different kind of trades, and that's perfect. Like, that is a great tool. And so because I think, Tommy put cursive writing is gone, but, like, trade schools are still part of public education still. It's not as if psychology or I don't know, whatever the hell DEI class you want to talk about got shoved in and the trades lost out. That's kids can still choose those. And I think they should. And the best thing, like I've thought that, since I've started in education, like a parent that is involved is just that's the big deciding factor of whether or not a child is going to be successful.
And I truly believe that a child will be successful regardless of the environment.
Yes.
If you have a parent that's involved. And
yeah.
I've heard the argument also about it's an argument against the school choice vouchers, that it's taking away from the kids that might be holding my children back. Like a lot of times the school choice vouchers, the schools can ultimately pick and choose who they take in.
Yeah.
Whereas the public schools cannot. So that's an argument. I mean, I've heard that argument, and I mean,
well, and that just makes up with scores and stuff. It's like when people say, "Oh, well, public schools have such horrible scores, and charter schools don't." It's like, well, yeah, charter schools can pick and choose who they pick as students, so they can eliminate a lot of, unsuitable students who would score lower on tests, because that's what people look at. But does that make it right? Does that make the charter school better because they have a higher grade of students, I guess?
Well, ultimately, I think the decision was made on mine and my kid's mother's part that we wanted to get them away from the children who don't have involved parents, basically. That because
there's a lot of them.
a lot of those kids could be holding my kids back. It's also the same argument by my kids leaving. It's detrimental to those kids because that makes their surroundings, the children that are surrounding them, lesser motivated students, so to speak.
Well, no,
does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, but I think that like what you're also kind of getting at too is, you talked earlier about how it's not one size fits all, and every student learns differently. So why are we still trying to pack like a class full of 28 kids, 30 kids, when we know that like a smaller class with a group of like 12 or 16 would be way better for everybody involved? And is that something that, I mean, we just can't afford that, can we?
That's actually why I pulled my kids out of IPS, because the size of the classes were very, very large. We talk about money that goes to these schools, and I mean, how many of these schools have turf football fields or really, really nice weight rooms or any sort of other amenities that have nothing to do with education?
Oh, totally.
I mean, a lot of these
charter schools play sports, by the way.
Yes.
Like, who funds that?
The parents. A lot of the times, it's the parents of the kids on the team.
Oh, okay.
Like, for instance, my son played baseball at Cecina his freshman year, and there was a team fee. I mean, we played. They played some of the local public schools. They played. Absolutely got destroyed when they played Cathedral, and then got destroyed playing Brebeuf. Basically, base Lomax. That's it. I mean, we did sell candy bars. We had a catfish fry. There were fundraisers that the parents took part in, and that's how the Catholic school that my kids went to supported their sports. I mean, there's athletic boosters. They do sell advertising in their programs, but they don't get the benefit of being able to say, okay, well, we're not good at budgeting our money. Let's just have a referendum. Why don't we? So, I mean, it's like, and then another reason why I'm glad that my kids didn't go to public school is because, frankly, you can't get rid of a bad teacher in a public school because there's this thing called a union. I could do a whole entire show of the.
Are we going to talk about unions?
Yeah, but we can't. We should. We're already at an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think we should talk about unions tonight. But in this case, the teachers union, they protect these bad teachers just because they've been there a long time. Now,
but I think that's something that happens with all unions, though. Like that's the downside of any union.
Get rid of all of them. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of all of them.
Like even like steel workers and oil workers.
If it's not a skilled trade, like labor union.
Teaching not a skilled trade, though.
It's not a skill. It's not like an electrician. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that they went to school.
I'm not going to say it's not a skilled trade, but it's not. You don't need a union to be a teacher.
No, but you need a degree.
You don't need a teach. Yes, you do, but the teachers' union is completely useless. Completely useless.
No, and that I agree with you. Like that's a whole nother.
I mean because honestly, if they're protecting, yeah, absolutely, Luke. Every worker deserves rights. I deserve rights at my job, and I get them. I demand them. That's exactly right.
Yes, but you don't. You're not entitled to them by the like. But right?
What do you mean I'm not entitled to them? I'm entitled to them based on what I do, based on my own work. I represent myself.
I just mean that, like you said earlier, that Indiana has a right to work state, or I can't remember when it came up.
Yes,
like, they can fire you for no reason, right?
Yes.
But you're saying that like because teachers are in the union, it's actually harder for them to be fired.
Yes.
So isn't that like kind of a good thing for teachers, I guess, or for unions, that you can't just be fired for no reason?
I mean, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the right to work state is I think that's spot on. I think people should be able to be fired for any reason. Isn't that freedom of association? The person that's paying you to be there doesn't want to associate with you anymore. Freedom of association.
No, I mean,
if you do a good job, then your work speaks for itself, and any smart employer would want to have you around. That's how the free market works, and unions jack that shit up. I'm sorry.
But
I mean,
they weren't
at one time, I do believe that unions served a purpose back in the 1930s. Back in the 1930s, when workers were really being abused, but I think right now it's more of the unions doing the abusing. That's just my feeling towards it. And I know there's plenty of fine people that are in unions, but I just don't have a very high opinion of the unions. I love my union friends. I love my union friends, but I'm sorry. I mean,
no, and that's it. Like, I think unions, ideally, it's all about fairness. Fairness for workers and rights for workers. And again, I still do feel that there's some unions where, there's going to be terrible people, just bad workers that are like taking advantage of the union system. But overall, the whole system, like, I think stops those robber barons we were talking about earlier too. Like I mean, that's the only thing workers can do against people who have that much wealth, right?
No, they can go get another job
and work for another guy who doesn't I mean, isn't the best thing for the workers to do is to unite? God, I'm sounding like a communist. That's
Yeah, you are.
I just thought I was like Elaine's boyfriend from Seinfeld for a second there. Okay, let's I don't want to keep going down that road.
How did that work for Jimmy Hoffa, the union boss? Didn't work real good. He's probably in the Giant Stadium in the end zone somewhere.
What are you talking? He's probably like down in like the Bahamas, still vacationing, just living it up. You know?
No, they killed him.
Just disappeared.
No, the Teamsters killed Hoffa. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I hate that we don't. And that was in the 70s. Like, how the hell did we not know that? You know? Like, we talk about JFK all the time, but like that guy, he literally just disappeared. And everybody's cool with it.
Luke has an interesting comment here. If you are the means of production, which I am at my job, by the way, I work in a machine shop, you deserve a stake in your own success. And I agree 100% with that statement. And that's why I go to my boss and I say, this is the amount of money I feel like I deserve. And then from there, my boss says, I think you deserve this. And we agree upon a wage, and I show up to work for that wage. It's a contract that I've made with my employer.
Should the workers or the owners receive the lion's share of the profit?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Well, you know what? Somebody who is providing value for that owner management should be compensated according to what they're producing.
But but the workers don't always know. Like, they don't know how much is being made by the company or by the owner, right? They're just told, well, you get this amount.
We know. We have monthly meetings on the finances of how we did for the month, what waste we had, what our productivity level was. We know this stuff.
So, I mean, it sounds like you're part of like a commune, though. Then, like,
No, I work at a small
companies are not set up like this. I think
okay. I know Luke works for a very, very large telecommunications company. So the difference, there is a difference. There is a big difference between the size of the company you work for, because what I just described to you is not something that's going to work in a very, very large company like that company that I just described. Obviously, there's some happy medium between unions and non-unions. I think that I believe Larry brought it up, or no, it was Luke, that the bad employees are protected, but the benefit outweighs that. I personally don't think so, but we're free to disagree and agree with people whenever we want.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got up here?
Oh, the largest obligation for any publicly traded company is to its shareholders, which is just something that makes you want to throw up. Don't you?
Why?
Like, it's not to the employees.
That's capitalism.
It's not. Yep.
You have happy employees, you will have a good product. If you have employees that are proud of what they're doing, you'll have a good product. Now, it is in the best interest of the employer to make your employees happy. Because
but they don't have to.
What do you mean they don't have to?
As long as it's making money for the people who own stock in the company, that's essentially what is important, according to that.
Yes, but you're going to make more money for those stockholders if you do have happy employees. Bottom line.
Well,
I mean, that's
but
the way it
there's
goes.
like, what about all the companies that have like sweatshops in Thailand and China and shit, making shirts or shoes or whatever?
What
It doesn't
happens
even
in
matter.
China? I don't give a shit what happens in China. It's not my business. Seriously.
No, I just mean like for that argument, like just the shirt. So then, like again, then you get into U.S. companies versus foreign companies. How much labor costs there versus here, and it's.
I mean, I would say that a lot of people might have the opinion that that unions have driven a lot of business overseas.
But we've let that happen. Like those were companies that were like built in America. Like those companies didn't have to go somewhere else.
But they wanted but the unions artificially inflated the wages, and it became more financially viable for them to make their parts and cars in other countries.
So it became more about profit than patriotism.
Yes.
They didn't want to,
Yes.
just un-American companies, Drew. Just what the hell, man.
Well, you know what? I mean, if these people, like, okay, for instance, the company doesn't exist anymore, but you remember Saturn? Of course you do, Brad. The company,
Yeah.
you
I had
probably loved
I had
it.
one of those, man.
You had a
could
Saturn.
You could do some sweet neutral drops in those. Spin the wheels. Oh, it was the most ridiculous.
Well, they were a concept where the employees were made stockholders, and obviously they don't exist anymore. You just have to have proper management that knows how to motivate your employees, and a lot of employees want to be motivated with money and with appreciation. And if you keep your employees happy with money and appreciation, and again, Luke mentioned that privately owned companies and large conglomerates, they operate differently, and I can only speak about the one that I work for. Hux is employee owned. Hey, Jack the Libertarian, nice to see you. Wow, I've seen him in Kendall's chat. That's awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Well, here, Drew, let's wrap up on on this, but I guess, is there anything you wanted to? What do we want to finish on here? I guess.
Okay, so I misspoke earlier. Let me correct that. The State Libertarian Party did not steal the money from the Marion County Party. That was speaking in hyperbole, but basically they did come in, and they're trying to do everything they can to ensure that the libertarians in the state of Indiana don't lose ballot access. So they're putting that money towards Lori Schilling's campaign. Luke and Larry, correct me if is that about it? Is that correct? So that's what happened, and they voted to allow them to take that money. And there's another.
Larry, like, I love that quote. As a sure.
But anyway, But anyway, I misspoke. They didn't steal the money. They came in, and they are using the money that the Marion County Libertarian Party raised. I wasn't part of it, so I didn't take part in raising any of that money. So it is what it is. The money didn't get received at our meeting. I know that. Basically, it was decided that they will vote on it at the SCC. Is that my understanding, Luke? Probably.
Drew, what kind of golfing do you have coming up?
Well, let's see. So yesterday I played Bluff Creek with Schmitz.
Who won? John.
It was John really close. No, I think I did. I think I might have beat him by a stroke, but I'm not 100% sure. He's not in here tonight, is he? But anyway,
if he is, he would have already typed in, "Oh, I won,"
Right. It was close. I mean, I didn't play very well. And then from there, I went over to Whispering Hills and I played another 18.
Wait,
And that
like the
was the
same
course.
day?
Yeah.
What the hell? What?
So I just played 27 holes yesterday and 18 today.
Okay, yeah. So, like, when are you making your amateur debut on PGA? Or you're not doing the live tour, apparently.
Dude, yeah. Okay, so for as much golf as I play, I should be a lot better.
No, but I mean, you enjoy it though. Don't rag on your hobby, or on your passion. It's like that's what it is. It's there. It keeps you sane.
Hey, Luke, it was 45 holes in 2 days, bud. 27 and 18. 45 holes. But my best is like, I think 50 holes in it. I walked 50 holes in a day. So.
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah.
Wait. Actually, can we end on this? Because let's end on a question.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, this was from Field of Vision. The thing on the right is the handle in the porta potty. Freaked me out the entire freaking weekend because it looked like an alien as you're just sitting on the john. So
what were you doing, Brad? Why do you?
I was just going to the bathroom, and you look right in front of you, and there is that alien face on the handle. It was just terrible. Either way, the thing on the left, the Rocky ice cream. So if you look at it, it has food and beverages, but then halfway down the food side, it says milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the right category? Like, I don't.
How long has this been bothering you, Brad?
A long time. Look, I made a banner for it.
Yeah, you did.
And I showed my son, and he agreed with me on it, which was like I was so happy. But yeah, like milkshake should be in beverages, not food. It's I don't know. Let's post this on I'll post this on my page or something like that and see like what we get.
Okay.
But I think it's a beverage. You drink it. It'll melt, you drink it. So all right. Anything else?
No, that probably covers it, Brad. Hey guys, man. Don't forget, please, if you're in the YouTube chat, please hit like on our right next to, right underneath it, because we really need all the likes we can get. And Luke, thanks for setting me straight on that. I wasn't sure what was going on, but again, my membership expired yesterday, and I'm not planning on renewing it. So there's that. But yeah, just hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. Brad, you got anything?
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yes, that was a good chat tonight too. That was hilarious, Larry. I will go ask the people to line her up. So, all right, love you guys. Have fun, man.
Peace out.